Hello there, welcome to the tutorial for the automatic tree farm, the tree eater. So we're basically going to build one of these. I'm going to use different coloured wool for the different areas. Hopefully that will help it become more clear. So let's make a start. The first thing to start with is the mechanism that pushes the gravel stacks up. So I'm going to start on the block which the dirt block will actually sit on top. So build up 3, put one on the side here, one down here, and go one along, back, up one, and one up there, one there, and one there. Now there'd be a lot of blocks like this one and this one that you don't need. You can leave them there, it's absolutely fine. So this is going to be the piston that pushes upwards, so you need a normal piston there. And this is going to be a sticky piston here, which pulls the gravel from here. So the gravel stacks sit there and there. Now you may want to put a piece of obsidian here. It stops it just pushing the gravel off if something goes wrong while you're building the circuitry. But I'm gonna not bother to do that. Okay, so next thing we want to do is build like this, and then we actually want one on there, but we want to put a repeater in here. So a repeater goes in there, and that's on the 3rd setting, and then we want a repeater feeding into here. Just leave that on the 1st setting, and we want one there, and a torch, and then just a piece of redstone dust there. I'll actually make that one go up for now. Then you want another torch on here, and basically what this is a monostable circuit, and it just shortens the pulse from the clock that we're going to build. So put redstone dust there and there. Right, so the next step is to build a clock which operates this monostable circuit. So come 2 out, and then 1, 2, 3, and then we want 2 blocks side by side twice, like that, and a block on there. Now we put a redstone torch on there, and a repeater, and then complete the circuit. And this is a clock that I use a lot. So we'll leave it unconnected from the monostable circuit so it doesn't start operating the pistons just for now. The next thing we need to do is build a latch. So build like that, and then 1 block on the side like there. Torch there, another torch, redstone in there, and that has disabled the clock. Put redstone on there, and I think it's a good idea just to put the buttons on here. So that starts the clock, and then that one will stop the clock. Okay, so we can now connect this up to our monostable circuit, and put a bit more gravel on here, like this. If we start up the clock, we should see it transferring the gravel from one side to the other, and then when it's finished it will start breaking the gravel. So let's stop that now. So we tested that all works. Okay, the next step is to build the reset line. So you come out from this block here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 along, and then all the way back here. But when you come back on the 3rd row, leave a one, come short one block, and then build out 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 again. So we're going to put repeaters on there. I'll just build the next bit though, which is a pulse shortener. So 2 blocks, 1 block, 2 blocks. In the middle here goes a repeater, and then we want 2 blocks here, a torch, redstone, take the torch up there, set the repeater to the 3rd position, and put a torch on here. Then we want to put a block there, and a bit of redstone dust there, and I don't think you necessarily need this, but I prefer to have it so that the pulse that goes into the reset line, let me put the repeaters down for the reset line, is just a very short pulse, so it's ready again as soon as it's reset the latch. I just do it as a matter of course, really. So put your repeaters all the way along here like this, and you actually don't need one there. So then just connect them all together with redstone like this and set them all to the last delay. The other thing you can do is, instead of redstone, you can just put blocks at these corners here if you like, if you just want to save those redstone dust. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, I'll set the repeaters to the maximum delay and then we'll test it. Right then, I've set all the repeaters to the maximum delay. I've now stacked up 12 pieces of gravel on the right here, and now if we activate this circuit it should transfer them all to the other side. So we're basically testing that what we've done so far is working correctly. And that also allows us to place the dirt block and the pistons which do the next stage. So there we go, that worked correctly. Right, the next step is to put a block here and then go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn the corner, go 1, 2, 3 up. Then you need to go 1 along, join all that together and put a repeater there. And then you want to go 1, 2, 3 up again. And then along another 1, 2, 3. And then a 1, 2, 3 raised 1 up there. Connect all that together with redstone dust. And then on the raised bit you need 2 repeaters set to the first setting. A single repeater set to the second setting doesn't work. And then basically put a block here, and against that we're going to put a sticky is it a sticky piston? Yes, it's a sticky piston on here, and then on here underneath the sticky piston we need a normal piston. I've just got to get it facing the right way, it should face upwards. And then behind the normal piston we want another sticky piston like that. Okay, so the dirt block will actually be here in front of this piston there. That will obviously be moved out of the way. As this gravel gets shifted up, this piston retracts it. This piston pushes this one into this position and pushes the gravel upwards. Okay, the next thing to do is connect the latch being enabled up to the pistons. So come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, go along 1, and then 1, 2, 3 more up, and then 1 up and into this piston here. The alternative is to actually put a block underneath it and put a repeater there. That just is the way to fix if this piston gets pushed up at the end when you're testing it. There's one particular orientation where that will happen, so that repeater just delays it and stops that from happening. The other thing you need to do is put a repeater here at the maximum delay and set these repeaters, so 1 to 1 tick and 1 to 3 ticks. The timing doesn't work, I'm not quite sure why, because 3 plus 1 equals 4 to me, but anyway, the timing doesn't quite work right if you don't do that. So the next thing to do is make sure your gravel stacks are, one of them's up level with these pistons and the other one's one higher, and then switch it on and just check that it all works okay, because you don't want to go building the rest if this doesn't work okay. So as you can see, it pushes up all the gravel up here, and then as soon as it's pushed as much gravel as it can, retracts that piston and it all drops down, ready for the next time. Okay, the next thing to do is to get the dirt block retracted, so put a piston there and then dirt block back where it should be, and then we want to take a line off of here, so I want to go 1, then up 1, 1, 2, and then 3, and this comes this way, and and this block will have a torch on it, and then a block on top of the torch, no, not there, on top of the torch, like that, and then a block next to the piston. So if we just put a piece of redstone dust, that should make the piston extend. So basically we want to have a repeater there and connect that with dust, so when the latch is enabled this torch will go off, that will retract the dirt, and then we want our second timing circuit to then extend it again when it's all done. So you want to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then along 2, and then back again, and you should find you come back to this block here. And so we need 8 repeaters now, all set to the highest delay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can just connect them along at the end. Right, so this should now operate retracting the dirt block, so the next thing to do is test it. So let's see if it works. So activate the circuit. Let's pull the dirt block out of the way. The main thing is that it doesn't push it back too early, because that obviously messes things up. So we want all the gravel to pop down, and excellent. That's exactly the point at which we want it to pop down. You could always be a bit safer and put another repeater in this delay, but I haven't had any problems with this. Right, the next step is to make the bud switch. So we're going to want a block there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 I think. Get rid of those. We want to put a normal piston adjacent to the block above the dirt block. In front of the piston, 2 normal blocks, then a glass block, and another block like that. Now underneath here we want to put a torch, which will then power the redstone here, and if we put a repeater there, powers the block, powers the piston, and it pushes it all back, which depowers it all. So then we're going to want to have a piston on the end here, so in there, just a normal piston again. Right, so that gets powered from a torch, which the other end of this line leads to. So we want redstone here, take the power from the torch, and then a repeater there. So that's now basically created the bud switch. So if I put a block there, get a block update, and you get a pulse coming out of this torch here. So we want to bring the signal down, down 1 that way, and then down 1 this way, then into a block here. Shouldn't have got rid of that so quick. And then we want to go a block and then a sticky piston like that, and then another block and another sticky piston, and both of those need blocks on top, and this is the block that's going to hold the state. So when we plant a sapling it goes into one state, and when we grow the tree it then triggers everything else. So connect redstone there, and then we want to connect the output of this to trigger all of the other mechanisms, but we need to actually extend the pulse slightly here. So we want 2 repeaters. You set one to a single tick and the other one to 2 ticks, and that will extend the pulse, and then join the outputs together. So now if we put blocks here, so time to test, we should see this block is left either up, and if I put another block there, or pulled down. And when it's pushed up, if I just move across, oops, You should see a pulse on the output. There you go. But you only get a pulse when it's pushed up. You don't get a pulse when it's pulled down. Right, the next bit is to make sure that the bud switch is disabled while the gravel is being pushed past it. Without doing that, you'll find you'll get pulses coming out of the bud switch while the gravel is being pushed. So basically what we want to do is have a torch underneath this piston and take a line, as you saw there, from the torch over that side behind the gravel and bring it up to here. And basically when this torch is on, the other torch will be off, and when this torch goes out, this torch will come on, and what that will do, that will push the piston out and stop the bud switch from being activated. So basically whenever the soil's pulled back, the bud switch is deactivated. The next thing I'd like to do is basically I've been looking at protecting with obsidian. Now earlier I said I wasn't going to put an obsidian block there. Well, what I plan to do with the wood that comes out of this absolutely requires that this doesn't break if it can't push the wood for a little while. So I've basically been figuring out how to protect it from breaking the gravel. So the first one is to ensure this piston can't push any gravel off the end here by putting some obsidian there, and then the next protection will be basically over here, so one block removed from the dirt so that this piston cannot push gravel off, which will actually land on this redstone and just break. And basically that means that if it can't push upwards, it should keep all the gravel. Right, the next thing to do is connect the output of the bud switch with this latch down here. So basically we'll use this wire again. Just underneath this hole you want to place a block, so there, and then from above step this up through here, and you're going to want to put a block there so it doesn't connect, and then bring this out until it meets. So we want one redstone there, and then we need a repeater to extend the signal, and then redstone all the way down here, and it will connect to that line. So now if we activate the bud switch, the trunk pusher mechanism should activate and work. So I'm just going to try that. There we go. It's like a tree's grown, and I'd already activated it before, if you remember, by putting that piece of obsidian there. So it pushes it all the way up, and there we go. It works. I'm actually going to leave that up there for later. It's a good reference for the height of things. Okay, next thing to do is build the area to stand on, so cover up that piston, cover up the repeaters with slabs. I'm going to use stone brick slabs, but you can use basically any kind of block that has stairs and half slabs. And you might be able to do it in a different way to how I'm doing it, but this is about the neatest I could achieve. Let's see, you want full blocks there, and then full blocks along the whole side of this, like so. Right, this next bit is a little trickier. We're not going to be able to put a full block here because of something we're going to build there later. So that needs to have a stair there, and then we need a full block next to this repeater, like that, and then a half slab on top of that piston there. And then we basically have full blocks here, here, here and here. And then we can build up the entranceway like this. Now in the one that I had before, I actually left this area, so these, and I put a chest there and just filled in around it, like this. It's up to you if you want a chest there. So I'm going to leave the area clear again, like I did before, and then here I put half slabs to start making the stairs coming in, and build that up there. Don't build it any higher than this, because on top of here is going to be the leaf destroyer mechanism. So just wanted to get this in next, so we can start building that on top of this. Right, next we're going to build the first slice of the leaf destroyer mechanism. So we want put 3 blocks there like that, and then we want to carry on for 3 more blocks. So 1, 2, 3, and then basically another row like this, and then from the end here 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 1, and then 1, 2, like that. And then you basically want to do that all the way around, so I'm going to do that and I'll show you the result. Okay, when you've finished it should look like this. So you can see that these cutout areas here, that's where the pistons are going to go. So you actually need to cut out 1 extra block on the left, and this is for the sticky pistons that actually go 1 further back than the non-sticky pistons. So put a sticky piston in, and then another sticky piston, and then on this side you want sticky pistons and then non-sticky pistons, like that, and then do exactly the same on top. So you want 2 layers of pistons like this. So I'm going to do them all and then I'll get back. So when you finish that, it should look like this, and basically on the sticky piston row you want to put a block on the top like this, and then underneath you want a fence gate, so pop that in like that. And this one you can't put it down until you put a block there, so just put a block there temporarily. And then the next thing is to actually put all the repeaters on. Right, so you basically want to put repeaters so they look like this. So let me show you doing one. Basically you put 6 repeaters in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then on the second and third you put another one behind. And the settings are 2, 4, 1, 4, 3, 3, 3, and 2. So you've got to have those correct, otherwise this won't work. Then you need a block behind this piston. So basically do all the repeaters and then we'll connect on together all the redstone. Okay, so once you've done all those repeaters, then connect it together. So behind the furthest set of pistons, you need 1 repeater set to 4, and then basically you just put redstone on all the available free space like this. So just keep going around, make sure you don't forget these repeaters, and after you've done that we can check that it works. Okay, so when that's finished, come over to the side where you have the latch and the feed from the bud switch, and over this side we want to take that block out. We don't want the connection, basically this or that one either. This will feed up to the next layer and the input will be on here. So to test it, just put a lever on there, switch it on, and you should find that you get all of the pistons firing. Now these holes here where you see no pistons, they only fire briefly, so really the only way to test that is to actually put some leaves in there. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm just going to, you can put leaves in all the places, oops, to check it absolutely, but these are the only ones that you can't see that the pistons come out. So if I bring those back, just check that they all retract correctly. Oh, and Yeah, this will actually set off the trunk pusher mechanism, because that's why we need to another reason why we need to disable that bud switch, because the piston causes a block update as well. So all the leaves have gone, so we know that that layer is working perfectly. And yeah, this is what it looks like. Just give you a quick view, and do test that it works first before doing the rest of the layers, because you don't want to have to try and figure out what's going wrong later. Okay, let's move on to actually connecting the leaf destroyer to the output of our bud switch. So we want a latch here, so we'll build, no, you've got to come one out, otherwise it will connect together. So build like that, and you need a block underneath here with redstone on, and then a torch on the back here, and a torch under there, redstone on the top, and connect the output of here to the latch. We want a very short reset line here, so you just need 4 blocks, and then a repeater facing that way, and then that way, and that should be one lower. So sorry, let me get rid of that. Actually needs to be here, so it takes the output of this torch and brings it into the bottom like that. So 2 repeaters, redstone wire, set them both to the longest delay, and then this is where the output of the torch will come. So you want to go up 1 that way, and then 1 that way, and whoops, set off the leaf destroyer mechanism. Oh well. And again, and then we want to come another one to the side, and then straight like that, and that's going to have a repeater there. So connect that to the output of this latch like this, and the whole reason for doing this is just to extend the pulse that comes out here. It's a very, very short pulse. This extends it slightly, but then we need to extend it more, otherwise the leaf destroyer mechanism doesn't have time to fully operate, and it doesn't need to be very long, so an 8-tick delay before that latch resets is fine. So the next thing to do is test that it all works. So if you come into here, basically you just get a block, put it on there, and then take it off. You should see the leaf destroyer goes and the trunk pusher mechanism goes. So the next step is to build 4 more layers of these leaf destroyer layers, slices, and then when we've done that I'll show you how to connect them all together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you the finished product, because basically every layer is exactly the same. Right, so after you've built all the layers, this is what it should look like. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, and I'll now show you how to connect those together. So the first layer is actually very simple, basically block, block, and then put redstone on top. Now, as you can see, it's connected to here. So what we need to do is just take out all of these corners like that, and put half slabs in, and just makes it a lot easier to connect it all together. Make sure you replace the redstone. Okay, so that's done the first one. The second one is slightly more tricky. So what we need to do is we need to have a block on top of here, and then basically a half slab in here like that. So do that for all of them. So redstone, block on top of there, and then a half slab. The top one is slightly different, because what all you want to do is just put a block on there to stop it connecting. This is basically where it finishes, and then test it. So go inside and place a block, remove the block, And just look upwards and check that all of the pistons seem to be firing okay, and the piston raising mechanism is off. And okay, right, well something's wrong, because these blocks have all been left stuck out there. So I'm going to figure out what's wrong and I'll get back to you. Okay, well I figured out what it was. I basically forgot that this this line that doesn't have a repeater, it has to be a half slab, otherwise it starts powering pistons when it shouldn't be below. So basically I'll put an annotation on the bit of the video where I'm doing this. I'm not going to go back and re-record it though. But if you do find the blocks being left out in the corners like this, that's what it is. So I'm going to go around and finish doing all of these, and then I'll show you it working. Okay, now it should work. So if we place a block and delete it, all the leaf destroyer goes off, all the blocks pull back, trunk pusher goes off as well. So next thing we're going to do is connect the clock circuit to some pistons at the top to take the trunk that gets pushed up there. So we want to come one to the side and up. You want to get rid of that full block and just put a half slab in its place, so this can connect, and then this comes out 3, goes up for 2, and then up another 1. So connect the redstone up to there, and then have a repeater. You can see it's connected there, so put a block to cut that connection, and then basically step up the side here until you reach the corner of the build. Oops. Then we can turn the corner, keep going up, and up again, and as you can see I put a sticky piston 1 block higher than the maximum height that the trunk can be pushed, and that's going to pull the top block of the trunk up, and then we're going to have a piston to the side here which is going to push it out that way. So now this needs to come along to there, and then come this way 2, and then up 1 more. So need to extend the signal a bit more, so that gets another repeater. So connect the redstone all the way down this, and the delays that's introduced doesn't make any appreciable difference. So another block there, and to the side, and again, and then that should lead you straight into this piston here. Excuse me. And then connect that with redstone. So now we want to have a non-sticky piston to the side, so I'm going to just pop it on that block there, like that. And now we want to power that, but with a little bit of delay. So block, 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 and 2 repeaters, and then some redstone. Okay, so there you have it. Get rid of this block, and now we can test the finished tree eater, tree farm. Just be aware that until you've built something to take the logs that are going to be pushed to the side, it will jam up fairly quickly. But let's just see it working. So we're going to take a spruce sapling and some bone meal and grow us a tree. And there you go. So all the leaves are being destroyed, the trunk's being pushed upwards, and it doesn't look like these are doing anything, but they were doing something, as you can see. Especially when I'm recording video, my machine does struggle a little bit. So let's just do a different tree. and I think we'll try let's try birch. Plant the sapling, grow the tree. Alright, now those pistons are doing something, and pushing it out to the side. And then basically over here you can build any kind of storage mechanism. I was using Cubehamster's massive cube storage. You can build something temporary, do whatever you want with it basically. That's not really part of this tutorial. So get rid of these. There's one last thing which I'm going to do, which is to show you how to make a switch. I put it to the side here, which allows you access to the gravel or the sand. Okay, to pull the dirt out of the way so that we can access the gravel or sand, we need to put a sticky piston here, which will be able to pull that block out of the way and remove the power from there. So I've built out this hallway a little bit. I've added a recess here and put in a lever, and basically you want to run a line out here, so it needs to be level with a block that's behind that piston. So out one more, and this one actually needs to go down at the end. The tricky bit is getting it past these wires here, so if we bring it to there, what we need to do is we need to have a half slab in between these two. It's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to put that there, and I need to get myself a half slab, and then half slab goes there, delete that, and then connect this all along. Now the only problem is it's connected here, which we don't want, so we need another block there next to it to cut that connection. It's also connected here, which we also don't want, so if we get rid of that, put a half slab there, and like that, that actually gets rid of that connection as well. So if we just test it, so there we've got the dirt, and then it's drawn back, and you can access the gravel. So if any's broken, you can just drop some more in, and that's generally what it should look like. So one lower than this piston here, and then another one lower there, and basically if you want to, you can put some blocks here so you can't see the circuitry. That's completely up to you. So that's it, that's the build. I hope you found the tutorial easy to follow. Just ask any questions in the comments if you're having any trouble, and enjoy your tree farm. It's been a real pleasure to develop Cubehamster's design and re-implement it in my own way, and it definitely uses less resources, and I'm very happy with it. So thank you very much, goodbye.